But I really noticed this in the Mavs game where Cam Whitmore played pretty well against the Mavericks, but his body language on the bench was so terrible that I couldn't help but perk up a little bit. And I got some, I mentioned I have friends who are Thunder fans. I have friends who are Rockets fans too. Hit them up. They're like, yeah, he's probably not going to be here much longer. Like, it's just, he doesn't really have a place on the team and his attitude seems very strange. So the Rockets blow out the Wizards. The Rockets have been great so far this season. They're one of the stories of the league in a lot of ways, how good they've been. Still feel like they're just, God, if they can find a consistent go-to scorer, their ceiling for the season changes dramatically. It's funny because if you look at their numbers, they're a top 10 offense in the league. They check those boxes that you want to check. Top 10 in both offense and defense, 9th in offense, 3rd in defense. I think that number is a little fraudulent. I have to be honest with you. Their offensive numbers, their half-court offense is 24th. Nick and I talked about this when the Mavs played the Rockets. Their half-court offense is 24th in the league. And that's where you look at it and say, all right, in a playoff setting, you're going to run into huge problems. But they rebound incredibly well. They run in transition. They force a ton of turnovers. They do all of that stuff, and that's how they generate a lot of their points. But Cam Whitmore, let's not forget, Cam Whitmore dropped to 20. Is that where you got picked? 20th. This was a guy who was all draft process was talked about as, hey, the Rockets might draft Cam Whitmore. But the idea was the Rockets might draft him 4th overall. He was being talked about as a top 5 player in that draft for the longest time. And then there were some rumblings in the lead up to the draft that, hey, Cam Whitmore, there's some weird sort of pre-draft stuff here, attitude-wise. And am I wrong? Didn't his college coach basically say, yo, there's some attitude stuff? Am I thinking of someone else? I think it was a health thing. I'm not sure it was a health thing. College coach, yeah. Teams worried about character issues with Cam Whitmore. This was before the draft. Why is this so fucking zoomed in? What the hell? Why? This was before the draft. There were multiple reports that there were some medical concerns that had teams shying away from Whitmore, but there were even more reports that there were some questions about his attitude and character. I personally heard from executives on 5 different teams who were concerned about what was termed character issues with Cam Whitmore. You always have to be careful with these, but I do remember it being a thing. He had a knee thing too. I thought it was a back thing. I don't know. That's why you come here, folks. But yes, the Cam Whitmore situation is getting strange. So this is how Cam Whitmore looks on the bench almost always. So him not celebrating a basket doesn't really mean much to me. He never does. He always sits there like this, emotionless. Maybe that's his zen. Maybe that's his way of locking in. Who am I to say? Yeah, he could just hate everyone, and he uses that to his advantage. Like, hey, fuck everybody. This was Jalen Green telling Tari Eason how Cam pushed him, and he pushed him back. Do some lip reading. That feels speculative. Are we 100% certain? Here's a zoomed in version of him walking off the court at the end of the game. He's definitely pissed. Walking off the court straight to the locker room. You see Tari Eason. Okay. There's something definitely here. Cam Whitmore cancer. Oh, here's the Zodiac GM. Oh, shit. This will tell us everything. Cam Whitmore cancer with Arius Moon. With his skill set, Arius. Talent and athleticism. Whitmore's energy type is primed to lead. This is a player that best suits a lead role. Think of energy similar to Dame Lillard, who's the same sun-moon combo. Wow. How often is this shit right? I always see it pop up whenever it's like something that's right, but how often is it actually right? Zodiac chemistry analysis, Cam Whitmore. Sun, Cancer, Moon, Aries. This zodiac energy is an instant leader. When you have cardinal signs such as your sun, moon, produces a natural energy of taking charge and leading with emotions. Wait, my sun's Cancer. How do I know what my moon is? How do you know what your moon is? I'm a Cancer. What's my moon sign? July 12th, year 2005. Hour of birth. Do I really have to know this shit? I'm pretty sure I was 7 p.m. around there. Birth city. All right, what am I doing? Just give me the fucking Social Security code. What is this site? My moon is Capricorn. Okay, so I'm a Cancer and a Capricorn. I wonder what that means about me. Cancer and Capricorn. Sun, Cancer, Moon, Capricorn. Low self-esteem. Oh. I would be surprised if Cam has demonstrated. That's literally the only thing that popped up. Look. Low self-esteem. It's a whole PDF. They got a whole fucking study on it. Your insight into people is extraordinarily good because of your experience. I do have a good gut feeling about people. This gives you prohibitions and conflicts, even though it provides special perceptions for you. You do not feel fearful of a future that is not certain, like most Cancers. That's true. Your goals are very high as a result of your ambitions and desire for recognition. Okay. Your Capricorn aspect is goal-oriented, distant, and rugged, while your Cancer part is benevolent, unsure, and emotional. This obviously puts the signs in some opposition. You have inner disputes trying to solve issues, and you need to build yourself up because of this. Inner firmness, a purpose, and determination have helped you over the early obstructions that, in all likelihood, you experienced in your childhood environment. This made you a self-examining and calculated person, especially for a Cancer individual. Yeah, I'm not like you other Cancers. You are a quite serious person and learn things easily. Your strong Capricorn inner nature finds opposition from the gentler Cancer. You are in need of proving yourself for inner satisfaction as well as recognition from the world at large. You have a somewhat unique approach to life, and you are never happy with external impressions. You approach it with the view towards change and novelty no matter what you do. Galileo, the astronomer, and writer Ernest Hemingway were both members of your combination. And their work shows the totally different nature of Cancer-Capricorn perspective. Seclusion is something that you desire. But while that may be good in limited amounts, too much can bring about alienation from the world around you and feelings of not being good enough. Depression, disappointment, and withdrawal can come about with your continual dissatisfaction to achieve this. Even turning to drugs or alcohol are possible in severe cases. Try to recognize you have gifts. Thank you. And learn to appreciate yourself while accepting your limitations. You have strengths that need to be acknowledged, and it's okay to be sensitive in life sometimes. You need to work on accepting and loving yourself. You can accomplish anything after you have learned to make peace with your inner nature. Capricorn's realism, organization, and aspirations combined with Cancer's vision and intuition. I'm not going to lie, this is scary. I'm not going to lie to you. There's sometimes, I'm not an astronomy guy. There's sometimes I read some shit and I'm like, huh. All right, Mayu, you're getting put in timeout, okay? I'm not going to lie. It clocked me a tiny bit. Did it Hemingway off himself? Because you're reading things that happen to 1 out of 10 people? I mean, it's true. Some of this is like, you want to do good in life. And people are like, that's true, I do. Sometimes you're at odds with yourself. That's true. Sometimes you want people to be impressed with you. Yeah, that's true. You just described every human. LaMelo Ball, Leo with Libra moon energy. Confident and prideful. Double masculine, sun moon. High testosterone king. Other Leos with double masculine, sun moon energy. Anthony Edwards, John Morant. Hornets starting unit. Dude, look, they do a whole starting unit. From a post account you blocked. Why do I have Fear Buck blocked? Actually, that doesn't surprise me. That guy sucks. I think a social media account might run that. Like a whole ass operation. What were we talking about? Oh, Cam Whitmore. All right. Storms off the court and bumps Tari Eason. Is there a video of him shoving Jalen Green, though? Because this part just feels like speculation. I mean, Jalen Green could be talking about anything. So is Cam someone you'd be interested in? I'd have to see what the Zodiac GM says about his fit on the Mavs. Then maybe I'd consider it. Then I would maybe consider it. But this Cam Whitmore situation is getting strange, for sure. The body language is bad. I mean, I get where he's coming from. It's a weird situation to be in. He's a very talented player, very talented offensive player. The stars aren't aligning just yet. Hey, shout out to astronomy, astrology. The stars aren't aligning yet in terms of him getting on the court, him playing, him having the role that maybe he wants to have. But yeah. For someone who hasn't watched a lot of Rockets basketball, how would you describe Whitmore? Uber athlete, very talented offensive player who is a bucket getter. That's really it. Not a good court, doesn't have great court vision, doesn't see the court well, doesn't set up for others, not a good playmaker. Not a great defender either. But yeah. That's pretty much it. It's difficult. Like a team that's really trying to win and compete at the highest level, which the Rockets are at this point. Cam Whitmore's an interesting player. Absolutely a bucket getter, though, and very talented. And like, absolutely on other teams would be playing a ton of minutes. If you're on the Wizards right now, you're talking about a 35-minute-a-game player. So I get where he's coming from. You got to prove you got to show that you're worthy of sticking around this league and making money and getting paid. So I get being upset for sure. And he's probably upset. I could kind of get it too. It's like we have to watch Jalen Green go out there and do Jalen Green shit. Why can't I play? Reed Shepard dropped 49 points. Remember, Reed Shepard was the betting favorite for Rookie of the Year going into the season. He hasn't played at all. We talk about the Thunder needing consolidation trades. The Thunder need consolidation trades for their picks. The Rockets are going to have to do one as well. They've got too many young guys who want minutes. We've talked about this. We've talked about this before. Hardy for Whitmore. Who says no? Most certainly the Rockets. Reed Shepard had a 49 piece in the G League last night. Yeah. Yeah, they do. They do all deserve minutes. I mean, maybe not. It's a weird position they're in because they're very competitive. They're trying to win. You know, I don't know if Cam Whitmore's a guy you give 30 minutes to on a team that's trying to consistently win with a coach like Ime Udoka, for sure. But if you're Cam Whitmore, you're like, dude, I mean, I feel like I deserve to be out there. You know, I'm year 2. Who's the most average NBA player? I don't know. Even an average NBA player is really good. How many players are in the league? Santi Aldama. What are we at, like 400 something players? But how many of those guys are into bench guys? So probably like someone who's around like the 150 range, you would consider like the average player. Josh Green is average. Yeah, that's Sounds about right. What is this shit trade? Rockets get Cam Johnson for Jeff Green, Jayshawn Tate, and Cam Whitmore. That would be interesting, for sure. But the Rockets really need is a go-to bucket getter. That is what they are desperately going to be searching for come to playoffs. Boston Celtics, huh? Yeah, sure. Why not, Boston Celtics fan? Dude, what about Jaden Springer for Cam Whitmore? Yeah. Why not? I mean, add picks if you have to. Yeah, if you need to add picks, like we can throw a couple seconds. Hilarious. I always love that. I mean, add picks if you have to. Like, oh, okay. Sure. Yeah, that's funny too. Cam Whitmore not playing for the Houston Rockets. Probably wouldn't see too much time on the Celtics. He needs to go to like a Washington. Well, I don't know. There's probably some contending teams out there that could use Brooklyn. You know, that'd be nice. But just like a athletic bucket getter off the bench. Toronto, Orlando could be kind of interesting, I guess. Cam would play for Dallas. The way Kid is, I'm really not sure. Do a Joe Swanson impression? I don't know who Joe Swanson is. Denver could definitely use a guy like Cam Whitmore. Yes.